First off, I wanted to note that I have been verified and I am in the War Thunder Mobile Partner Program. It has been quite a journey to get to this point, but we're still going to keep on moving forward, and there's going to be a whole lot more things coming that I hope you guys are excited for. And yeah, we're just going to see from here. Anyway, let's go on to the video. We're going to be comparing the Leopard A1A1 and the T-55A platoons. First, we're going to look at the Leopard, and then we're going to look at the T-55. So the Leopard, firstly, it starts out with a Heat FS round when you first get it, I believe, either that or an APDS round. When you level it up more, you do get access to an APFSDS round that does do good post-penetration damage. It has a 65 kilometers an hour forward speed and a 25 kilometers an hour reverse speed. So it has great mobility that allows you to quickly get over points in the map. You have a turret rotation speed of 34 degrees a second, so you can fairly easily turn to face targets that you're going to be going up against, and you have a reload time of 6.7 seconds, easily allowing you to go from shooting target to target without having to worry about the reload so much. The T-55A, on the other hand, has a slightly lower forward and reverse speed, that being 50 kilometers an hour and then 8 kilometers an hour respectively. It has less penetration on the initial round that you get, with it being almost at 300 millimeters of penetration. It also has a turret rotation speed of only 21 degrees a second, so if you're going to face multiple enemies, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to deal with them, and especially that's because you also have a reload of 7.5 seconds only. In general, though, your armor is better against lower level platoons that don't have great choices of ammunition, but that's not really going to save you in this modern age of APFSDS at rank 8. Going back over to the Leopard A1 platoon, the M48A2GA2 also has access to APFSDS and Heat FS, with the initial round being 350 millimeters penetration. The armor again not being super good, but it's good enough. You get 48 kilometers an hour forward and 8 kilometers an hour in reverse, with a turret rotation speed of 34 degrees a second, which is going to help a lot. And it shares the Leopard's reload time of 6.7 seconds. The T-62, on the other hand, also has the 50 kilometers an hour forward speed and only 8 kilometers an hour reverse. And the starting shell for this one is worse, in fact, than the T-55A, with only 280 millimeters of penetration. And you also have the 23 degrees of turret rotation speed, so overall it's not really that great. But you do have some decent armor. Plus, you have an even longer reload of 8 seconds. The T-62 also appears to have better armor as well, but again, it doesn't really because everyone has APFSDS. Moving back over to the Rakjagdpanzer II Hot, it has 70 kilometers an hour forward and reverse. It has 700 millimeters of penetration on the Hot missiles, and it also has 10 seconds of a reload time. However, you can only fire in a specific arc in your frontal direction. The IT-1 in comparison goes 50 kilometers an hour forward, 8 kilometers an hour in reverse, so worse mobility, 500 millimeters of penetration, and 11.1 seconds worth of a reload. However, you do have the option to fire all around, so that does help in some situations that you wouldn't even be able to consider with the Rakjagdpanzer. We also have the Leopard, which has good mobility, but that shouldn't be the focus as an anti-air. It has a 0.1 second reload time with a 35mm cannon, or 2 of them I should say, and a turret rotation speed of 129 degrees per second. The ZSU in comparison has 37mm cannons with also 0.1 second reload time, but only 86 degrees per second on the turret turning. Overall, between the two, I'd say in comparison, the Leopard platoon is in general better, because the Leopard A1A1 and the M48, like, combined, allow you to be much better at that lower level that you're going to be getting from when you get level 1 to level 5. Like, when you first start unlocking stuff, and then when you get up to, like, level 10, and then you start getting APFSDS, you'll be able to play really well with this platoon. And because you have the great mobility, you are allowing yourself to get around the map much more. Whereas with the T-55A platoon, you are sacrificing that mobility for some more armor that doesn't really help because everyone else has APFSDS. Plus, the APFSDS that the T-55A and T-62 have isn't really good at post-penetration damage unless you are very specific with where you're aiming. There isn't a whole lot of spalling that's happening after the shot enters the enemy tank. So you're going to have to be a whole lot more careful with your shot placements, which isn't as good for newer players. And I hear a lot of people defend this platoon because it has the IT-1. The IT-1 on its own is okay, but it's not going to justify the whole other hurdles that you're going to have to get through just to get to the IT-1 if you're not spending gold on this. It doesn't completely just remove the fact that you have to level up repeatedly to get to the IT-1 in the first place. And because it has less penetration and a longer reload, I honestly would prefer to go with Iraqi Panzer in the Leopard A1A1 platoon. And of course, the ZSU isn't as great at being an anti-air as the Leopard is. Overall, I believe that the Leopard A1A1 platoon is far better. You guys may disagree. We can put that in the comments below. Tell me what you guys think. And if you guys want another comparison like this, let me know. I'll see you guys again in the next video.